guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com. Windows Phone 7 is technically the successor to Windows Mobile, but they are completely different. In this video, we're going to compare Windows Phone 7 with Windows Mobile. Should be interesting. Let's get to it. Okay, before getting started, we want to mention that this is not final Windows Phone 7 hardware or software, and I'm running a custom ROM here on the HTC HD2, as many people are that are running Windows Mobile devices, and we're going to talk about why that is in a minute. So let's briefly go over these lock screens. They're a little bit different. Both of them show you new message notifications on the bottom. Windows Phone 7 will show you if you have a new calendar appointment. So we're going to unlock these devices and jump right into the interface here. So what a lot of manufacturers have had to do over the years for Windows Mobile is make their own custom interface, because the default Windows Mobile interface, the today's screen as it used to be called, is just pretty much useless. It's very basic. You can't do much with it. You can add plugins to it, but it's really ugly. It's very one-dimensional. So HTC, most notably for their HTC Sense, came along and made this beautiful, gorgeous interface that sits on top of Windows Mobile. Other companies like SBB came out with Mobile Shell. There was a lot of proprietary interfaces from Samsung with TouchWiz. And really, all the developers came forward to customize all of these interfaces. So you can customize the HTC Sense interface really in any way you want. You can use a ROM that has Cookies Home Tab Editor, which allows you to have dozens and dozens of quick links and to really customize the interface. You can use the Max Sense Ui. I mean, the list goes on and on about how you can customize Windows Mobile. Windows Phone 7, not so much customizable. In fact, I think people going from Windows Mobile to Windows Phone 7 are going to feel a little bit boxed in, because not only can you not change the interface, you can't change the web browser, can't change the keyboard, can't change really the default applications. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That was one of the problems with Windows Mobile. There was just too much that was left uncooked by Microsoft. And Microsoft is really focusing on making sure that the core experience of Windows Phone 7 is good out of the box, so you don't have to get the proprietary interface. Okay, enough about that. Let's talk about these two different interfaces and how they are different. The HTC Sense UI for Windows Mobile is grouped into tabs, and tabs organize various actions. So we have a tab just for people. We have a tab just for photos. We have a tab just for music, so you can play music right from your home screen. It was a great idea, and Android is kind of like this the way that it is today. It's multiple screens with different kinds of information that you can customize. And one of the best parts of HTC Sense is the Home tab, where you have these quick links. Quick links can be a variety of shortcuts. So you can have a quick link to call your favorite person, quick link to a program, quick link to a website. Windows Phone 7 takes this idea of quick links and really puts it on steroids. They call them live tiles, and they can take on a wide variety of functions. They can be links to your favorite map places, links to multimedia, links to your favorite people, links to websites, and then there are all the live tiles that haven't been made yet that hold a lot of promise. So you could have a live tile that shows you sports scores, or a stock, or weather. In Windows Mobile, you really didn't have that with the quick links. In order to see the weather, you would have to go over to the Weather tab. In order to see stocks, you would have to go to the Stocks tab. So in Windows Phone 7, you've got this glanceable information that is really expandable. So while the interface is not customizable in Windows Phone 7 in terms of making these blocks, rectangular, or make them into ovals, or make them have a 3D effect, you can't do that, but you can really change the way you interact with the phone. So let's say you're done on the home screen and you want to open up a program that's not within easy reach. Maybe you want to open up, say, the calculator. Calculator's not here, it's not there, I didn't pin it to the quick links. So in Windows Phone 7, you swipe to the right, you get your full list of programs. In Windows Mobile, of course, you press the Start button, and here is your scrollable list of programs. Now, in both of these operating systems, if you have a lot of programs, they're just going to list vertically, and the list is going to be super duper long. But in Windows Mobile, or at least the later versions like 6.5.3 and 6.5.5, you can move around the program. So let's say I use footprints a lot. I can put it right at the top within easy reach. Windows Phone 7 doesn't have this capability. The programs are only listed alphabetically. Sure, you could take any of these and pin them to your start screen, like so. Looks like it's already, oh no, there it goes. But you really can't reorganize the list of programs. It would be nice if they had the same alphabet jump system that they have in Zoom. Let me show you what I mean. If we go here into Zune, and we go to a listing of, say, music, if you press on a B, you can quickly jump to anywhere in the alphabet. Windows Phone 7 really should have this for the start screen. So if you know you want the calculator, you tap on the letter, you go to C, boom, you're there. So let's talk about the internet experience. In Windows Mobile, you had a choice from Skyfire, Opera Mobile, default Pocket Internet Explorer, and several other browsers. In Windows Phone 7, you get one browser, and one browser only. It's Internet Explorer. As we talked about in a previous video, Internet Explorer on Windows Phone 7 is darn good. It's smooth, it works very well, it allows you to load multiple tabs at a time. The real weakness here is that it doesn't support HTML5 or Flash. In Windows Mobile, you could get Skyfire, which can do Flash and HTML5 just fine. So we're going to compare here Pocket Internet Explorer, just for the sake of a throwback, with Internet Explorer on Windows Phone 7. A lot of people didn't use Windows Phone. A lot of people chose not to use Pocket Internet Explorer on Windows Mobile because it was just not that good compared to Opera. So let's go to Pocketnow.com on Pocket Internet Explorer here. I'll go to the home page on this device. And here's a good example of how Windows Phone 7 is going to differ from Windows Mobile. I've been trying to load Pocketnow.com here for a couple of minutes. Despite having a perfectly good Wi-Fi connection, the browser's just not working. This was a curse of Windows Mobile where things just wouldn't work. The device would have to be soft reset on a regular basis. Of course, with some good tuning and a very good ROM, that wouldn't be necessary, but this is just an example of where things don't work. And in Windows Phone 7, through my usage of it, everything just works. It's the exact opposite. The interface is always fast, everything launches the way it should, and there's no problem. So I'm going to stop it from loading, and we're going to just go back to the home screen here. Now let's talk about the application experience. Windows Mobile has the Windows Marketplace for mobile, which only to this day has 1,200 apps despite being around for about a year and a half now. That's really nothing. It's not a competitive marketplace. A lot of the apps are too expensive. There's just not a good selection. Windows Phone 7 will hopefully have a totally different ecosystem of applications, and Microsoft knows that they have to have a much better app offering, so they're really going after developers. The interface for Windows Phone 7 for the app experience is much, much better than Windows Mobile. Windows Mobile looks like this app was made in an overnight. Here in Windows Phone 7, we tap on Apps, and we get the Metro interface. It's very fast. Of course, there aren't going to be any apps here because this operating system isn't launched yet, but we can see what it would be like to have some apps in the market. So you can see featured, you can see top, new, free, and you can kind of flick around. You can tap on the Stocks app here and load that up. And kind of like the App Store for Android or for iPhone, you get a rating, a description, screenshots that you can tap on and flick through. It's a very well done interface for an app store, unlike Windows Mobile. And so it's very likely that the app offering for Windows Phone 7 is going to be infinitely better than what we got on Windows Mobile. Of course, with Windows Mobile, there were thousands of apps, but very fragmented. You could go to a variety of different websites. You could send the cab to your device. It was a mess. But in Windows Phone 7, it's going to be a true application experience that rivals that of the iPhone and Android. And finally, I want to talk about fast app switching, the ability to multitask between two applications or three applications. We recently did a video about the iPhone versus Windows Phone 7. We'll put a link up on the video after this. And in iPhone, there's a very easy way to multitask. You double tap on the home button, you can go to the recently used program, jump between the two instantly. Windows Phone 7 does not have fast app switching, and it kind of is a bummer. So if we want to go into settings and we want to jump back to Marketplace, which we were in previously, you can press the back button. We first go back to the start screen, then we go into Marketplace. Press back again, we don't jump forward to what we were doing before. There's no way to jump forward. In Windows Mobile, we do have fast app switching, but Windows Mobile 6.5 kind of took it away, but not really. So in Windows Mobile 6.5, in order to do true fast app switching, you have to install a task manager that will allow you to drop down a list of currently running programs, and that will allow you to jump from program to program. in Windows Mobile 6.1 and below, if you went into the Start menu, which had a button up here, you could instantly get to the previous program through the recently used Programs menu. So that was really good app switching. But Windows Mobile out of the gate has always had true multitasking, so you could have a program running while another one was running and switch between the two. In Windows Phone 7, it has the capability in the core architecture, but it's not available to the consumer in terms of fast app switching. So in the end, Windows Mobile and Windows Phone 7 are entirely different operating systems, totally different experiences. In fact, they're opposites in a lot of ways. Windows Mobile is extremely customizable. Windows Phone 7 really isn't customizable. Windows Mobile at times acts weird. It freezes. Things don't work. Windows Phone 7 seems to always work. Things don't freeze. I haven't had to soft reset the device once because of a failed program or any kind of freeze. So it depends on the kind of user you are, and hopefully we will see the same sort of robust development for Windows Phone 7 that we have seen for Windows Mobile, although it remains to be seen if it's actually able to be hacked and changed and modified. So curious to hear what you think about the comparison between Windows Mobile and Windows Phone 7. Leave a comment and let us know what you think. Please thumbs up the video if you liked it, and thanks for watching. That's it for now.